In an organized media rally to commemorate his 1 year in office as a minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike says he will not leave the Democratic Party, the People's Democratic Party, beg your pardon, due to the internal crisis in the party. The minister made the comment while reacting to a recent open letter written by Chief Edwin Clark, the leader of the Niger Delta Forum PANDEF, calling for his expulsion from the opposition party. Wike also disparaged former Senate President and Chairman of the BOT of the People's Democratic Party, Adolphus Wabara.
I wasn't a bad person when I championed for the German to be governor. I have become a bad person simply because there are issues. And I kept quiet. There is nothing Chief Edwin Clark or the other statesman have not said. I said, I will never, I will not reply to anything. And if there's anybody who has contributed to the growth of PDP, as far as today is me. How can I listen to where Adolphus Wabara, who has said that the president should warn me? You are aware that the president should warn me if anything happens in Rivers. That is the man who is going to lead for reconciliation. He said he's the chairman that BOT is the conscience of the party. Yes, we agree with the conscience. But you, who said, do you have conscience? I have told you that I don't want to wait for any fight. I will stay there. Well, I will fight it out.
In the PDP?
Yes. Who am I going to run for? The vampires? How can you say that?
Also, the acting chairman, Omar Damagun, says that he will not be coerced into resignation. Damagun, reacting to the recent calls for him to step down from his position, says no one can put pressure on him to step down. He spoke during the inauguration of National Reconciliatory and Disciplinary Committee chaired by Olagusoyin Ilola and Tom Ikime.
Nobody is going to intimidate me to relegate my responsibility. You can say all sorts of things. I know that this is the build-up to the coming neck. Damagun must go, Damagun must go. I thank God, people are making me very popular lately. Anytime you open social media, television, is Damagun, Damagun. Honestly speaking, I've started contemplating it's high time I throw my self into the ring to also vie for the presidency of this country. Because I've become popular, even though negative to bring me down, but I'm not deterred. I have a responsibility to this party to keep it safe and stable. So everybody, those interested of Damagun to go, is a builder to run me down before we have that neck. But when you run Damagun down and you lose a party, because in trying to run me down, you are running down your party. And for my detractors, let me tell them, you'll see more of that later. Because I will not abdicate my responsibility. But I will do it within the confines of law.
So joining us now on the morning show is Mark Jacob, former National Legal Advisor of the People's Democratic Party and former Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice, Kaduna State. Great to have you, sir. So a couple of things. Number one, isn't it funny, 1 year in office, Minister Wike does a press conference as what? 1 year in office? That's number one. Number two, the things he said against your political party, it pretty much has his hand on the neck of the PDP. And he's pressing it. You know, like they say in local parlance, he's choking the neck of your party. And you guys can't do anything about it. That's the sad reality of the PDP today.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It is really a sad day for anybody who identifies with the PDP or anybody who is a member of the PDP. It's not a good day for us reading or listening to the things going on an opposition party ought to be on the neck of the ruling party, raising fundamental questions on how governance is being run, on how the country is being governed. The policies of the ruling government are supposed to be x-rayed, and every strength or every organ of the party ought to be focused on insisting on good governance and also exposing lapses or weaknesses found in the ruling government. Unfortunately, that responsibility has been abdicated, first by the leadership of the party and then by individuals who are openly making sure the party does not move forward. This is very unfortunate, and it is sad that it's happening today, because the PDP ought to have grown beyond this. The PDP, with its gamut of experts in every field, with its number of experienced hands, educated hands, ought not to be groveling at this level. But it is sad, it is painful to those who have good intentions for the party and the country to see the largest opposition party ignoring its major and its main assignment, and rather engaging in minor squabbles that are more or less centered on ego and the personal interest of individuals. It is bad for the party, it is bad for democracy, and it is bad for the country. I am particularly not happy that this is where we are. Your commentary, Rufai, is very apt, but that is the sad reality of our political party today.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jacob. Talking about your political party, do you agree with the acting chairman that all those who are speaking out in public, and I'm sure he would want to categorize under this Pa Ike Clark, who are speaking negatively about the party outside, are de-repping the party? They are bringing to disrepute the party, and that the party would still stand long after he's gone. Do you think, based on that Pa Ike Clark is justified in the open letters he's written? Is it demarketing the PDP, or is it for the success of the PDP?
First of all, it is very unfortunate that the party and its organs has waited and kept quiet or ignored the issues being raised by people who are not openly members of the party. I'm not sure it is correct to dismiss every voice that is raised as inconsequential. It is sad that Pa Clark has to be the one to raise the issues he raised. The party has members, it has organs. It is a sign that something is wrong in the house. If internally our issues cannot be discussed and properly dealt with. The proverb in Hausa is usually that it is when the wall cracks that the lizard finds an entry. If our house was in order and our wall didn't crack, there is no way people like Pa Clark, with all the pressures on their lives, will have time or interest in making commentary. The party has failed to address several issues. And as a member of NEC, I know at the last NEC, several issues, people wanted to discuss several issues, but they were shut down. People came to that meeting with the hope that certain issues regarding discipline, regarding even reconciliation that is being discussed today, will be tackled. But the leadership shut down every effort to bring some of these issues to the fore. And so when people outside the organs of the party begin to make commentary, and openly and strongly too, it is wrong to dismiss such commentary and call people names. There is nothing like detractors. There is nothing like people who are trying to take your office. That is neither here nor there. You must take criticism. Democracy requires and demands of all leaders to be accountable, and then to be open to criticism, to be open to x-ray People must see that you are doing the correct thing. Probably the current chairman doesn't mix a lot, but some of us that go to motor parks, go to restaurants, people ask us questions. Why is this your PDP like this? And as a former national legal advisor, I know that in our days, back in 2007, this kind of thing would not happen. Some people would have been dismissed from the party long before now. After the 2023 elections, there ought to be serious measures taken against certain people. But the party has remained dumb and deaf to all the hue and cry and complaints of right-thinking members of the party. And I'm not sure the acting national chairman should be proud of the status of the party as we are now. The party is dwindling. Our standing in the eye of the public is diminishing, whether he understands it or not, but that is the reality. We don't have a standard to present. Our rating among Nigerians is going down. The PDP is failing in its responsibility to raise and present a viable opposition voice to the ruling government. We have left that role to individuals like His Excellency Atiku Abubakar and, of course, His Excellency Peter Obi. The party ought to be in the forefront, raising strategic questions and serious questions, x-raying the performance of the current government, and challenge the current government to do better. Nigerians are suffering. Nigerians are in dire straits. And I remember when PDP was in power, how the APC was given birth to, the kind of opposition that was mounted, despite the performance of the PDP in those years. Anybody who was in this country by 2014 knows the quantum of opposition material that was being launched against the PDP, which led to the loss of the election in 2015. If we are going to be fair to ourselves and frank too, since 2015, what kind of opposition have we mounted? What kind of material discussion have we placed before the public regarding the performance of the APC, which has been in government? What have we told Nigerians that can be used to assess the current government? The PDP is highly busy discussing individuals and discussing the interests of individuals or cliques instead of addressing the national question that bothers Nigerians. And that is where Nigerians are losing faith in the PDP. Whether people in authority understand it or not, this is the reality. You go to places where PDP used to be strong, people are walking away. It's not because they have lost money. No, it's because they have lost faith in the structure, in the leadership. And until the leadership comes back to address the real issues that matter to Nigerians, we will continue to dwindle. The fortunes of the party will continue to dwindle. We are losing elections in places we ought not to lose elections because the leadership has ignored its role.
Yes. Mr. Jacob, so look, you said, Nigerians are suffering. That is true. Things are really, really tough right now. Do you agree with the notion that if an election was held today, the PDP would still lose? Second question, I love our YouTube family, lots of questions. Let me read a comment here or a question from someone called Bright on our YouTube page, and you folks out there, youtube.com/Arise. Bright asks, where is Atiku? This is time for Atiku to show leadership. Unfortunately, he's nowhere to be found, and then later he'll come and want to run for president. So one, would the PDP win an election today if it was held? Two, where is Atiku Abubakar to show leadership? From YouTube.
Personally, I don't see PDP winning a national election if election is held today. Partly because, one, well, it's not yet time for election, but hypothetically, there is no candidate. There is no viable leader of the party that can stand election against the current president. There is nobody that has shown that kind of leadership that is required of a presidential material. Yes, you can talk about His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, but how much can he do? The party owns all of the members of the party. The members cannot grow bigger than the party. And that is the issue that has been ignored. Individuals are becoming like emirs They are becoming tin gods, supervising or superintending over the party. It is strange. It is something that ought not to be mentioned about the PDP, that individuals have become bigger than the political party. It is not correct. It is undemocratic, and it is an insult to the sensibilities of all those who are following the party. If you ask me, I'll tell you we are not ready for any election as of today.
No, but the truth is, I'm going to tell you the truth you don't want to hear, sir. Nyesom Wike is bigger than the PDP as we speak today. You might not like to hear it, but I speak nothing but the truth. A man single-handedly took a political party to the cleaners, ensured that they didn't win Rivers, which used to be a hot, winning spot for them, ensure that the candidate of your party didn't campaign in Rivers State. With the G5, ensure that they didn't even win Oyo, which by extension, Sheyi Makinde being there, they were supposed to win Oyo easily, being the PDP governor. Destroy the architecture of the party.
Yeah.
Till today, the party cannot convene, and he moves around. You cannot do anything to him. And for good measure, went to the opposing party and collected a ministerial position from them, and holds a press conference on his 1-year anniversary of being a minister to tell you that in your face, PDP, I'm not going to leave you alone. So he's got the party where he wants the party. And the truth is, there are no leaders in the party. In fact, do you know what he said about Adolphus Wabara? He said Adolphus Wabara doesn't even have the bona fides to be able to say he wants to lead the BOT. And the party is so much in disarray that even there are indications that some of the PDP governors couldn't even stand with Fubara when the fight with Wike started. So the man feels left alone. So in fact, this destruction Wike is doing, do you think it's only for 2027? Even for the next 10 couple of years, it will be difficult for PDP to get out of this destruction, isn't it?
No, I have said it over and over. Everything you have said is correct, but it is like that because the leadership of the party, particularly the NWC, has failed to rein in characters and individuals who ought to be taken and dealt with. In the days of Solomon La, in the days of Alex Ikwemedem, Amadou Ali, under whom I served, there is nobody, no individual could do the things that Wike is doing and still claim to be a member of the party. You will be expelled with one paragraph. You will be expelled. But today, if you ask leaders of our party why some people who have openly opposed the party, who have openly done evil to the membership and the structure of the party, are still being allowed to walk around and come in and dismember the party, embarrass the party, why they are still not being talked to or being dealt with, you hear different stories. And it's bewildering. It's completely astonishing that such people are so arrogant in their behavior, and nobody is saying anything. It is strange. It is not part of the PDP that we belong to, and it is not a thing that we have seen before, because individuals should never be bigger than the party. And for God's sake, I respect everybody who has any position of authority, and they should be respected. But if you look Wabara in the eye, he is older than all of us, he is older than Wike. I cannot imagine that you look at somebody like that in the eye and tell him he does not deserve anything. He has been Senate President, I think before Wike, or when Wike was still a local government chairman. So whether you like it or not, he has paid his dues in this political party. And for us, anybody who has looked at the Rivers State issue knows. Yes.
All right, let me just come in here. We have just a few minutes to go on the show. But Mr. Wike says that he's doing this based on principles, that he feels that the Constitution wasn't followed, and in fact, he's a party man to the core by the actions that he's taken in the past. So rather than tell him that he hasn't done well, we should be praising him for sticking to the Constitution and the principles. He said that the crisis PDP is paying is as a result of greedy stakeholders. True or false?
No, I see him as a coward who is not bold enough to leave the PDP and go to the APC. having taken a stance against the PDP, and a gentleman who wants to be respected should have resigned from the PDP. That's you cannot be blowing hot and cold at the same time. You cannot be kicking against the PDP and still claim you are still PDP. It's completely ungentlemanly. And anybody with good conscience who wants to be respected, even by his children, should be ashamed when he does things like this. Because it's complete irony, it's completely ungentlemanly, there is no integrity surrounding what he is doing, and the day people it is time people tell him the truth. You cannot, in good conscience, say you are a member of the PDP and you are fighting PDP. It's not done anywhere.
All right, Mr. Jacob, so I want to go back to the weakness of the PDP, right? In business, when a business is weak, it looks for support. Let's look at the banking sector, like Unity Bank, for instance. Weak position, we have a bank recapitalization exercise going on. The Central Bank of Nigeria facilitated a merger between Unity Bank and Providus Bank. So another comment from our YouTube audience here, Brown Hill Radio. Brown Hill says, PDP should look for alliances and form a new party like how APC became APC. Do you agree with that? Should the PDP, use the same strategy from 2015 and form alliances and get bigger and better, or just flush everyone out? What's the way forward for the PDP?
The party leadership must wake up to its responsibility. The party leadership must leave all this sensationalism, abandon all these selfish and individual issues, and look at what the party should be doing. The North Central certainly has been shortchanged by insisting, when you deny them their slot. A man who was the national chairman resigned. Naturally, the North Central should have replaced him within hours. But that has been denied. So let's go back to the basics. The national chairmanship position must be taken by the person or by the zone that is entitled to that position. And then the leadership must take decisions that are appropriate. I'm happy there is now a disciplinary committee, there is a reconciliation committee. Those are things that ought to have been done a month after the election in 2023. But look at the time. 1 year or more after the elections, nothing. People were just busy exchanging banters, threatening each other, putting themselves high on something and saying they are being threatened. Who is threatening your position? Who needs acting chairmanship? People are talking about the real position of chairman of the national chairman of the party, not acting chairmanship. In acting capacity, acting, anything temporary like that ought not to be in perpetuity. You should have had a timeline. You act for 2-3 months and hand over to a substantive chairman. To allow an acting chairman to remain without definition of time is wrong. And the party must take its steps. The organs of the party, the NEC, and the BOT must take a position on this issue. The Governors Forum must also take a position. We cannot continue like this and expect any good thing to come out of it. It's sad that the governors probably didn't throw their weight behind Fubara. But I think a month or so ago, I saw that they went to visit him and they included him in their meetings. So it's a good sign that the party is is reconciling among its members. And very soon, we hope that things will take shape.
Well, I like that you remain hopeful about the PDP. Let's see what happens in the next few days, weeks, and months, and let's see if PDP can be restored to glory days. Thank you, Mr. Mark Jacob.